What if I told you religion wasn't about what you believe, but about what you could prove to yourself? In this explainer, we're diving into a really powerful idea from the spiritual teacher Paramhansa Yogananda, the idea that true spirituality is a science, an experiment you can run in the laboratory of your own life. All right, so let's get right into it. To really get what Yogananda was talking about, we kind of have to rethink our definitions of both religion and science. And it all kicks off with one incredible statement. And this, right here, is the key to everything. Yogananda was basically saying that spiritual truth isn't something you should just take someone's word for. It's something you should be able to know directly for yourself. You can see how that was a pretty radical idea, especially back then.
And to see just how radical it was, let's kind of rewind the clock. Picture this. It's 1920, and Yogananda has just arrived in America. And what he finds is a culture that's totally split right down the middle, between two completely opposite ways of thinking.
This slide really captures that split perfectly. You know, on one side, you've got the world of science. It's all about dissecting the atom, focusing on the outer world, demanding hard, empirical proof for everything. And then, on the other side, you have the world of religion, which was focused on dissecting scripture, on dogma and rules, and it demanded faith. These two worlds seemed like they could never, ever meet. But this is where Yogananda comes in and proposes this amazing bridge. He says, hey, what if religion at its core isn't about dogma at all? What if it's actually a practical, scientific method for experiencing a higher reality for yourself? So how do we actually make that leap? You know, from just believing in something to actually experiencing it? Well, Yogananda used this brilliant and super simple analogy to explain it. Seriously, think about it for a second. How do you really know? I mean, you could read 1,000 books on the chemistry of sugar, you could listen to poets describe its sweetness, but does any of that give you the actual first-hand knowledge? Of course not. You have to taste it. It's so simple, right? No amount of theory or debate can ever replace that direct, personal experience. And Yogananda's whole point was that spiritual truth works the exact same way. You can't just be told about it, you have to taste it for yourself. And this is the formal definition he was getting at. The science of religion is a method, not a belief system. It's about turning spirituality into an active experiment you conduct, not just a sermon you passively listen to on a Sunday. This is also why he was pretty cautious about getting lost in empty rituals. Now, he wasn't saying traditions are bad, but he warned that when rituals and rules lose their deeper meaning, when they just become something you do mechanically, well, then they actually get in the way of that direct experience we're talking about. Okay, so if this whole thing is a science, then there has to be a method, right? Like a formula. And guess what? Yogananda provided one. One that he said was as precise as any equation you'd find in a physics class. And here it is, the 3-step formula he laid out. So, step 1, you calm the mind, usually through meditation. This just creates the stillness and clarity you need for any real experiment. Step 2, you awaken devotion or love in your heart. And then, step 3, with that powerful combo of a calm mind and an open heart, you can start to perceive truth directly, through your own intuition. And the result of this whole process is what he called realization. It's that aha moment. It's the point where you don't need a priest or a sacred text to convince you of anything, because you have seen the light for yourself. You've tasted the sugar.
So, this brings us full circle, right back to that initial conflict between science and religion. Yogananda's approach doesn't make you choose a side. Instead, it kind of shows how the scientist and the spiritual seeker are really on parallel quests.
And this comparison lays it out so clearly. The scientist works in their external lab, studying the laws of the physical universe. The yogi, on the other hand, works in their internal lab, their own consciousness, studying the laws of the inner universe. They're both searching for truth, just using slightly different methods and different labs.
This quote just ties it all together beautifully, doesn't it? Yoga, in this big picture sense, isn't just about stretching. It's the complete science of the soul. And the place where you run all your experiments and make all your discoveries is right inside of you.
So all of this leaves us with a really powerful question to think about for ourselves. In our own lives, are we just sort of accepting a set of beliefs that were handed to us? Or are we actively exploring a reality for ourselves? You know, are we content to just read the menu, or do we actually want to taste the meal?
And we'll end on this amazing call to action from Yogananda. It's really an invitation for all of us to become the scientist of our own inner world,
to approach life with both a calm focus and an active curiosity, and to discover for ourselves the incredible truths that are just waiting to be found in the laboratory of our own soul.